Hey guys, what's happening? Did you know there's this thing called the Sonic Fan Remix that just got released? A bunch of people actually have been messaging me about this, so I figure I'll address it right here, right now. Now, for those of you who do not know yet what this is a reimagining of two Sonic the Hedgehog 2 levels and then one original level programmed from the ground up by just two fans for the PC. All of the graphic work is based on the old games, but it's all original artwork. And yeah, this thing has been causing some waves. This has been causing some talk. This is pretty exciting stuff, especially because, well, in the context of where we are right now, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 just got released to the WiiWare, Xbox Live Arcade, and PlayStation Network. So here this other thing is, and it seems to be like trumping Sonic 4, at least in a lot of people's eyes. So I'm going to give you all my take on this right now. Now, one thing that I always find kind of amusing, whenever someone on the internet, or really anywhere in life, tries to really take hold and say, hey, I'm going to do something that's kind of creative, that perhaps is taking a little bit of a sucker punch, indirectly or directly, it's something else. Or someone comes up with the idea of, hey, this difficult thing has never been done before, but I have an idea. Even though this has been dismissed as impossible, I have this idea on how to achieve something. Oftentimes when that comes around and someone says something like that, people just shut that person down. They're like, shut the hell up. Things are the way that they are for a reason. And this weird mentality that drives me nuts when it happens both in society and in talking about video games has happened as well. You check out some of the websites out there covering this thing, and they are quick to point out that, well, now it does have some problems. You know what? Fuck it. This thing does not have problems. This thing has about as many problems as anything else that is programmed has. This is actually extremely well done. This is physics that were created for this Sonic the Hedgehog game because these programmers, or programmer I should say, really analyzed how the physics were in the original games and recreated it. And this is not just some like winged like softball or whatever. This is very spot on. I have a few things, because I know the original game so well, there are a couple things that I would like to check before I say that this is completely identical. However, it feels like the exact game that you remember from back then. And just to give a little more context, because context is the key word today for whatever reason, I checked this out on my PC. I played it with 1280 by 768 resolution with a PlayStation controller, actually PS2 controller that I have a little adapter for. So I played this thing in a way that it was meant to be played. I assure you all, I did not smack on the keyboard and then give you an assumption of how I think the game plays. This thing plays spectacularly well. This is so artistically amazing for a fan project that I am really kind of blown away. Yes, it's based off of someone else's work, or a work of an entire team that created Sonic 2 and all of that, but the way that they did this does not look amateurish at all, and it does not look good but stylized in a way that you can tell did not take too many man hours. No, this looks hella great. Hella, yeah. This looks fantastic. I am really amazed. Now, this is not like, and here I am once again qualifying, which annoys the shit out of me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This is not like Final Fantasy 13 cutscenes here or anything like that, but for what you want from 2D graphics, or I mean, for a 2D side-scrolling game with some 3D graphics, this is exactly what you want. Any more, and it would be a little too overcomplicated, which would sort of make it a little difficult on the eyes. Now, perhaps that was a slight issue here. With the original Sonic the Hedgehog 2, there was not so much to interpret so that you could really hone in on the enemy that's in front of you before you smack into him. That was kind of an issue here, or maybe just my eyes are not used to looking at this graphical style yet, so that is a slight worry of mine if this were ever developed into being a full game, but you know what? It really does look spectacular, and it plays amazingly well. I checked out the website of this guy who created this, or maybe this was like hosted on someone else's website or whatever, but they actually have logarithms typed out that nail the Sonic the Hedgehog physics so much better than Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, I've had a little bit of time to allow that game to mature more in my mind and develop a more concrete opinion, despite the fact that I said I might play the game only one more time in my review. Well, I ended up collecting all of the Chaos Emeralds because I figured perhaps my data will somehow transfer over into Episode 2, and being the Sonic nut that I am, I will still end up checking that game out, even if it ends up being just the same as this one. But yeah, I collected some more stuff, and I've come to appreciate that level design a little bit more. The physics are still bullshit, so I'm not a big fan of that in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. So how do I think it compares? Sonic 4, I do give credit for kind of trying to go in a new direction somewhat. While the levels I consider recreations, they still have a more original flair. But then again, this is recreations on 2 existing levels already, with a 3rd level that's sort of inspired by the first 2. So if I were playing a full game, I would bet you that if this level of quality continues, even though I have not allowed the level design of the original level to really mature in my mind just yet, I would say that if this level of quality continues, and if they kick out some original style zones rather than basing them off Sonic the Hedgehog 2 level or zones or whatever, I think this would be an amazing game. Perhaps in line with the originals. I'm going to say that loud and clear. Alright, I'm going to include a link somewhere, like down below in the information, so that you can check this game out as well. I really do recommend it. And then let me know what you think, as well as let me know how you would think this game would end up being if they really did create a full game out of this. And so, thanks for watching.